things like that, so that you are able to know how to demo them, because a lot of people are either new or need to spice up their demo, so this is always really nice to do. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is myths and facts. Okay, so toys will replace your partner. True or false?
False.
Exactly. One thing that you're going to find clients will tell you is that they feel that that a toy is going to either overstimulate them or make it so that they don't want a partner anymore. It's also one of the reasons why their partner themselves is uncomfortable with them using a toy, okay? I'm going to be addicted to my vibrator, aren't I? You're going to hear that all the time, right? And I know Espresso probably does, right? And you're like, actually, you need human touch, right? So a vibrator is not going to say, Joe, you have gorgeous eyes. You know, like, they're not going to give you that personal touch. They're not going to wine and dine you, right? Okay? And as women, we kind of need that. So they're not going to do that. So it's not going. You're not going to get addicted to your vibrator.
Unless you're the executive.
That's true. But the vibrator is all that. But the executive can also be used as a couple's toy as well. So if he has a hard time finding your clitoris, we've got you. Okay? Or your G spot, we've got you. So that's what I always say. Because if you can't find your own, then it's really hard for him to find yours. True. So, a vibrator is going to stretch out my vagina. True or false?
False.
So those muscles are going to come back. So it doesn't matter if it's one of those like really scary fisting toys that you find at the sex toy store. I do not recommend them, but it's going to snap back, okay? Because of your PC muscles. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? A vagina is also a vibrator is also a tool, okay? Because if it is in fact that you have not had sex in a while, then I'd always recommend that you either use Benoit balls or that you use one of the exerciser systems or you have a vibrating toy. Because if you don't use your PC, not muscles, you will lose them, okay? Which is when you sneeze and you pee yourself a little bit, okay? So an orgasm takes 7 to 14 minutes for a man to reach. True or false?
What was it? 7
to 14 minutes for a man to reach.
True. Not all the time.
But on average. Yeah. Well, guess how long it takes a woman to orgasm? 10 to 20. Exactly. It takes a lot longer. That's one of the reasons why I would say that women are like preheating ovens and men are like the timer on a microwave. You're like, hey, right? And you're like, ready? Seriously? I need more time. I need more time. Give me time, okay? A man has an orgasm for 3.2 to 4.8 seconds, while women will have an orgasm for 4.8 to 8 seconds on average. We are amazing.
True.
We are amazing. So, the common causes for a woman to have the inability to orgasm is stress, anxiety, guilt, distractions. I always say, if you're thinking about like the laundry that wasn't folded, if you're thinking about work, if you're thinking about the kids, if you're thinking about when they're going to burst in on you, how high is the possibility that you're going to have an orgasm?
Low.
Pretty darn low. Like, I'm talking, you can kiss your vagina out the door, right? And your orgasm out the door and not be having one. Or lack of communication, right? So I always say your clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings, right? So people always call it the little man in the boat, right? So that's one of the reasons why people always say, he or she finds it, but it's the outside of the clitoris, or it's not right where I want it to be, or it like seems to run away from him. I don't know what's going on, right? So then you become overstimulated, which ends up meaning that you're going to have a harder time having orgasm because you'll be like, ow, ow, please stop, okay? The ow, ow, please stop is not a good thing. So you want to make sure that you have communication. Also, emotional problems in a relationship, right? So if you are not loving on your significant other and you are fighting all the time, the possibility of you having an orgasm is very low, okay? There's a joke that's totally true. If you're building your orgasm and all of a sudden he's like, honey, is it me or your thighs a little wider than I thought they were? Are you going to have an orgasm? No, you're gonna kick him out the door, okay? You're gonna have to start all over again with your vibrator, okay? You're not gonna want anything to do with your significant other. Also, you're focusing on the orgasm too much. So, another thing that I say at parties, which is completely true, is are you focusing on your orgasm so much that your neighbor's screaming your significant other's name? Meaning, are you focusing so much that you're like, almost there, almost there, almost there, and someone else is having an orgasm? If that's happening, then it may be that you are focusing too much on the orgasm, and then you overstimulate yourself, and you go to sleep with blue clitoris, okay? Because nobody needs that. Also, vaginal dryness can be a reason why we don't have an orgasm as women, because it hurts, right? Medication also, so some of those medications that are vasoconstrictors will lead to vaginal dryness or us not being able to get out of our own head. It's one of the reasons why the enhancement creams are so nice, right? Especially AMP, I recommend for women who are on some kind of antidepressant or something, because it's not going to work as well as you would want it to without something like that. All right, or lack of foreplay, okay? Women don't get enough foreplay, right? This is where pure romance comes into play. Things like bosom buddy, things like whipped, things like massage, you know, those are all things that are going to help you relax enough to be able to let control go. Are you laughing, Esperanza-Torres?
No, I'm like falling in love with her, so I'm like looking at her picture.
Come on, if I gotta focus here, you do too. I'm like the cup, the flowers, no focus.
You or him?
How many squiggles
Is it me or him?
do we really
It's
have?
both of us. We
Oh,
both
okay.
love it.
We have way too many squiggles in this room.
Probably.
You must have a superhero wedding.
She's like, I thought about it.
There's gonna be stuff, probably, when we plan.
So, how are you going to have an amazing party? Okay? You're going to actively listen to your customers. So, you walk into a room, right? And everyone's milling around, chit-chatting, and they start, like, it's actually happened to me at a party. I was, yay, pregnant, okay? Earlier this month. Earlier this year, I was super pregnant. I was probably 8 months pregnant or so, and I walk into a room. They're all Latin American, right? I can understand you, okay? Like, I could understand them. So they're like, well, she must be freaky. Look, she's pregnant, and she's got all this stuff going on, and this and the other, and I was like, she's dirty, this and the other. Like, I was like, breathe and hang, breathe and hang. Like, yeah, it was bad. So I am in the middle of not commenting. And I focus everything up and everything, and I start talking. Well, guess what my intro was about, ladies? It was all about the objections to what they were talking about. They very quickly realized that I speak Spanish. But not in a mean way, you know? I was like, all women need pure romance, right? Because we all suffer at times from issues of not enough foreplay. We all want to feel sexy, right? And I do, because I ended up in this situation, right? So I get time too. So moving on, like, you know, or they were like, oh, she went to vibrator school. I have 2 master's degrees, and I will never do anything other than pure romance because this is more fun and it pays me more. And they were like, she totally understood. Like, yeah. And so they very quickly understood, right, that I totally knew everything that they were talking about. They're some of my best clients now. It was also a $1,200 for me. So by going ahead and being a fly on the wall as you're hanging things up and listening and everything, you're very well going to be able to find out where they are lacking in their lives, right? You're going to give them what they need, all right? So listening to what's going on, but maybe not participating in the conversation is really going to help your sales and really going to help you connect with these people as well. I walk into one of their homes now, I get hugs, water, food, in that order. How are you? I watched the babies grow up. Oh my goodness, there's amazing. It's been a while, you know, like you very quickly become family to your clients, okay? And this is the one of those ways that happens. What else? So, So this is going to help you cater your demo presentation, okay? Blah, blah, blah. Listen to their fears, okay? If they're talking to you about, I don't do the butt stuff. I know. Because once blah, blah, blah happened, and this and the other, and I will never do that. Because it really hurt. Or, hi! Come on. Hi. This is Laura and Kenya, y'all.
Hello.
Will you find the seats?
Sure. Yes.
Yay!
Sorry, don't trip here.
Thank you.
Oh no, Laura, there's spots.
It's fine.
You sure? Okay. I feel like I've been sitting a while.
You sure?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
I might have to sit on the floor too.
It looks comfortable.
It does.
Well, remember how we always talk about how, like, when there's a smaller space that people can end up sitting on the floor with pillows and stuff?
She's not as
Go
funny
for
as
it.
she looks.
What?
I was looking at the floor when I walked in. I was thinking,
What happened?
I was a
I
preschool
said you
teacher,
look
so I was thinking,
it's okay.
I wouldn't mind sitting on the floor.
Chris and applesauce, right?
Exactly. No, I was talking about it.
It's so much better for your back.
She does have a dog. He's just locked up.
Exactly. She's gonna do so well at parties, y'all. So listen for fears, okay? Someone's like, I don't really know why I'm at this party. We just don't have sex anymore. Like, we've been
That's
fighting
why.
all the time.
That's why you're here.
Exactly.
You must have been in my order room Saturday.
This happens so often.
When you said that, I was just like, yep, she was in the order room.
I'm in everybody's heads, aren't I? Yeah, it happens after a while. Sorry. I live in her head. I like rent space.
Creepy person.
I rent space in her head, and I live in her phone, and I tell her what to do, and she loves it. She was in Publix. You have to tell the story.
She has an app in my phone that she just randomly messages my phone and tells me what to do, when to do it, and
But you're a lot more productive now, aren't you?
sometimes.
So we all know what Wunderlist
Except when
is,
she
right?
messages me.
So Wunderlist is an app where you can create lists, and it's great. I can also, and my husband's on one too. Yeah, it's great. So you can invite somebody to the list so they can see it, and when it's done, when the activity is done, they can check it, and it dings your phone saying that it was done. So
She made a list.
I made a list.
And every
So,
day
let me know
she
that.
randomly updates the list, and it'll tell me go book a party, and I'm like, really? I'm sitting there like, I should get up and do something today. My phone dings. Jennifer added a new item to your list. Go pick up the phone. Go book a party.
Hey, this sounds good.
Get off of
I like the
Facebook.
idea of that.
I like
It sounds
idea.
good
I
with
might have
kids.
to.
Yep.
I have 2 high school kids. I might have to talk to
Yeah,
you.
I created so I just for those who
Feel
don't
better
know.
when Jennifer tells me to go do things.
See? You are
I honestly do
blessed.
though.
I do too. That's why she randomly does it. I'm posting something on Facebook, and she's like, "Why are you on Facebook? Go pick up the phone and call people." Damn it! Don't do that.
But see, she knows I like literally know nobody, so she'd be like, "No, you need to be out there like every day."
Do
She
you
does
have
it to
goodie
me
bags
too.
on you right now? See? Mm-hmm.
No, I need to make more.
Yes. Very
How do you
nice.
find
What
the
is
ones
that?
that zip shut like that?
Dollar store.
I have not found any.
Well, these I kind of went crazy during Valentine's Day and bought all of these.
You
from
can
the
get those
store.
at Walmart too.
But
The
yeah,
ones that
Clear.
zip shut like
Yeah.
that.
They're clear.
I only live in the people's head that really need it. So, yeah.
Because I've been like looking for those times, and I'm like,
I don't know.
I
how
think
to
you would
take
like
that
it.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, she's at Publix, okay, and her hair's pink, and tell the story really fast.
This freaking woman. What I was just telling you when I got here, how somebody said something to me and was like, "Oh my God, I love your hair. I wish I could dye my hair that color, if I didn't have to worry about work." And I'm like, if I don't talk to this woman right now, I'm gonna get struck by a lightning bolt called Jennifer. I have to answer her. So I had to bring up the business and talk to her, and I had no business card on me.
I have, I've always got business card on me, but I've had so
After
many
one
business cards
I
might
live
suck,
in
they
people's
don't have-
head, do I not?
Yeah, like I've had moments where they're just like, oh my gosh, I love your name tag. Oh, thank you. And then I walk off.
Yeah.
And then you feel like I'm going to strike you down, right?
I did that at the dollar store. This girl was talking about how much she hated her job and she had to give her mom all her money. And I'm in the aisle like, I should totally go talk to her. But I'll just never admit to this moment and no one will ever know. And I'm like, no.
Until right now.
It's not going to work.
No, it's okay, honey, because I'm sitting there and I'm talking to this girl and she's like, yeah, let's trade parties. I'm like, what do you mean let's trade parties? She's like, I do perfectly posh. She goes, I'll do a party for you if you do a party for me. And I'm going, are we allowed to do this?
Yeah.
Oh, Jennifer! She's like, if you don't accept that party, she goes, I'm coming to personally kick your rear.
Yeah.
She goes, if you need help inviting people, let me know. We'll be at your party.
It's perfectly flash. I know people like it.
It's trying to
and-
reconnect.
Okay, so on the 29th, there's a perfectly posh party at my house.
And she traded, yeah.
We changed to what time? 7?
Yeah, because during the week. So, we're going to go and we're going to talk. Okay, so expectations, okay? Are they looking for something? What is that?
Her box from Pure Romance is arriving now.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny. So she just took the UPS van to the next level. Esperanza, you need to talk with her. Did you see what she just did?
No.
Oh, let me go back to record because it recorded. So
Is that your
ring at the door.
your doorbell?
It's a video. It tells her when your box is dropped off.
Well, my daughter opened the door and didn't sign it for her, but
Her doorbell hooks up to her.
Oh, that's amazing.
A couple of people are having problems on the
Your
street.
your doorbell does that?
so if I'm at work and the
If
box
someone
arrived,
walks
no.
in front of
Where'd
her
you get
house, it sends her a message and she can see who's there.
My daughter opened the door. You can
Where'd
hear my
you get it?
dogs. Best
but-
Buy.
Yeah, Best Buy. I'm gonna need that for
Yeah,
other
she's like,
reasons.
for my box.
Who's here? Oh, never mind. I can ignore
I'm
that.
gonna need that for my bedroom door so I know when my son's. No, because that's why when I see her, she had it like that. I was like, yeah, I used to be able to do it like that, have it on my TV, watch the videos, and now all of a sudden Heaven's like, what's a vagina? You know what a vagina is? No, but they said vagina. They weren't holding or pointing, and I was like, yeah, get out of my room, please, thank you.
You can't watch videos anymore for Pure Romance because,
Now they ask.
yep, gotta love it. So
Mine
funny.
are in bed at 7 o'clock, 7:30 sharp. Every
Good
other
go.
Monday.
My 6-year-old refuses to sleep anywhere but in my room.
Oh, your life is my life. Yay. Yes.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
My kids too.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're crunchy parents, y'all. Sorry. So expectation. Okay, are they there looking for something? I've had people come in and be like, I really need bed straps in my life. Like, I'm here for bed bondage beyond. That's all I'm here for. I'm like, okay. And I'll be like, okay, so, and then I'll do like a bondage demo where I'm talking about my tickle and whip and my flogger, and they're like, and I need that, and that too, right? Because I already know she's into bondage. She already told me that I enjoy being tied up or I want to tie somebody else up. And then, if I'm talking about this, I can talk about, so you can go ahead and, you know where I'm going with this, tie somebody up and drizzle this all over their body and have your way with them. Sound good? And her eyes just lit up and she was like, and I need that too. So you can be upselling while you're talking about your demo because you know what these girls want, right? Or someone comes in and Jessica says like, y'all, I've been single for 6 months. I need a vibrator. I need the highest fire speed thing, and I need something that has USB power, and I can hook you up. So this way you know automatically what they want and what they
It's
think
like,
they
okay,
want.
let me pull out our seductive spotlight for you.
And there are times where what they think they want is not what they want, okay? Because I'll have them come in with wish lists, and they'll be like, oh, I want just one touch, and I want a waterproof bullet, and we want this, that, and the other. Well, then when I start telling them what these products are made of and what it's going to, what it's going to stimulate, and that it might not be what they wanted. I think I did that to you, didn't I?
You did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you've seen it in action.
You definitely upsold me. Yeah, and then you get to the 50% off because you've already spent this much money. And I'm like, yeah, she really did a great job. I spent $200 that party.
How much were you planning on spending?
100. I was gonna, because I knew what I wanted. Or I thought.
Or thought you wanted.
See?
You got me too, though. I think I was only planning on spending like 50, and then I came into the ordering room with you, and I was like, yeah, 120. And then
I think my
I opened a credit card and joined.
That's exactly what happened. She did. She opened up a credit card
Yeah,
so she could
no
join.
shame.
And then she
I did it.
She paid it off. And she was
I
like,
did.
and I'm here. So, like, all of these things are going to help you in the ordering room as well as stay engaged. Okay? So you want to make sure you're sharing toys that are going to meet their needs, and you're also going to make sure that you want to relate to your audience. So if your audience is a group of 40 and 50-year-old women, that's going to be a different way that you're going to relate to them than 19 through 23-year-olds that are college students, right? Your energy might be different. Your talk might be different, right? You might focus on different aspects of sexual health and self-esteem with your college girls, okay? I have done that, and I can tell you that they are clients for life because they're like, so what do you do in your 20s when guys are jerks? And I said, vibrating products and pheromones. And they're like, oh, okay. Because it gives them the self-esteem to be able to say no and to be able to walk away from a situation that may not be the best for them at that point in time. And to say no when they're drunk. I have given condoms to a hostess of mine because I knew she was going out. And I knew she didn't have any. Here, be safe. You know, so these are the things that are going to endear your clients to, because you're giving them what they need and what they want, and you're not being judgmental, right? We never want to be judgmental. What else? Create a need for having a product, okay? Just don't explain what this does. Who here has seen me demo Between the Sheets? Okay. You've seen me at parties, okay? So, you've seen me at parties. I know that you have. So, this is a product that you're creating a need for, okay? No one walks in and goes, I need linen spray, y'all, okay? No one does that. But if you tell them, okay, that they need this in their lives, because there's always that wet spot, ladies, in the middle of the bed, after sex, when you do it right. Right? So, and if you're not doing it right, we need to talk. Alright? So, what that means is that you do that little wiggle to get to the other side of the bed so you won't have to sleep in the wet spot. Right? And then that person that you're with tracks you across the bed and goes, oh, she thinks she's not going to be sleeping right. Good luck. Okay? And that's when they decide they're going to twist and turn you and have wild sex, and you're like, hit the side of the bed and you're like, oh, it was amazing. No, why am I on my side of the bed again? Okay, so this gets rid of the wet spot, y'all. You're going to go ahead and you're going to spray this in the sheets afterward. Not only will it get rid of the wet spot because it turns into a powder, it's also going to make your sheets feel like satin. Who here has ever had sex in satin sheets? Somebody raise their hand. There's a lot of slippy slidey action, right? Not in a good way either, okay? There's one way and one way only to have sex in satin sheets, okay? Put on the Nikes and assume the position. That's not cute, y'all. Please don't do it. Okay? It also is wonderful for boob sweat. For Mountain Dew. Okay? The dew between your mountains. Or molehills, whichever works. Okay? So, we is currently sweating in places that should be illegal. So, what you're going to do is you're going to take off your bra. Not here, ladies. Okay? You're going to spray this in your bra cups, put it back on after it dries, and it's going to help mitigate some of that wetness. Okay? So, you can use this when you are training. You can do this when you're running. You can do this literally when you're walking around with your kids because it is hot. Okay? It also is great for closed-toed shoes because your feet sweat, right? I have no shame. I totally spray this in my husband's shoes. All right? So, this also is great too when you go to the beach and you forget the wet towels in the car. You can spray this too. All right? It's also great as room spray because what happens when you use Febreze and you it feels like you took a bath. Not in a good way, right? Because it comes flying back at you. This is in Love Story. It is my favorite scent, and this is what I carry, ladies, between the sheets. And they're like, it does all these things, and I was like, ladies, I'm a mom. If it doesn't have 20 different things to do, I have no time for it. Okay? So that's what they want. They want the product knowledge, right? It's one of the reasons why it's important that you know these things and you know the different ways to use it, because they'll be like, Jen, but this is $18. Is it really just for the wet spot? No. There's so many different ways.
Too.
Really?
Yep.
See?
That's actually when I was telling my sister about that. She's like, it sounds like the stuff that they would clean up, throw up at school. She's like that type of concept, and I'm like, I guess, but it's.
I had a kid throw up in my car and cleaner and between the sheets.
Because it gets rid of the smell.
It got
And the
rid of the
wetness.
smell, and it's hot in Florida. Everybody knows what vomit smells like.
Yuckies.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
done. Nope. Sensitive stomach to that stuff.
So now you know. Yo, bachelorette party, crazy night.
Same
Yeah.
thing for kids who pee the bed.
Yeah, I cloth diapers. Sometimes they pee a little bit. You split them up, spray them down, change the diaper, and change sheets in the morning. You're good to go. Great for kids who are in the middle of potty training too, and they are able to stop just in time, but it's a little wet. Spray
Esther
it.
says
Good.
it's great to use as a dry shampoo. Esther, it doesn't work for everyone because it actually clumps up and leaves
White spot.
a whole lot of white in my hair. So it doesn't work for everyone. So you want to be careful saying that because it may not make somebody very happy.
I think it works better with light hair and
Yeah,
bleach
I would
hair.
assume it would be good for
Yeah.
blondes, but not necessarily brunettes.
Darker hair, you're gonna see all the powdery stuff in your hair.
And then it looks like dandruff.
Yeah.
Yes. We don't need that. So lighter hair would be better. All right. So, but you saw, everybody here is I need between the sheets of my life ASAP, right? You created a need for it. That's the same thing that you're going to do for our entire bath line, for our toys, for our lubricants, right? Because we want things to be sleepy slidey, because otherwise they pop out and you're like, your vagina's like, stop. Everyone has been there. And right? Everyone has been there at one point or another, and they're like, how do you know my life? Seriously, Jennifer, this is creepy. How do you know my life? And I was like, because this happens at one point or another in every woman's life, okay? So that's how you sell lubricant. Because you created a need and a sexual health reason for it, okay? That's one of the reasons why sexual health is so important. Okay, so you also want to decrease fears by saying that a vibrating toy is not going to replace a partner or break your clitoris. Apparently people are worried about breaking their clitoris and only being able to have an orgasm with a toy. Yeah, that's a problem. They're like, but if I use something like Platinum Pete, isn't it going to end up making me never want to have an orgasm with a person again because it thrusts for me and it does this and it does that and it does the other? No, dear, because once again, there doesn't have arms and it can't do things that a person can, right? So when people say, "Oh, that's going to replace a man," this is amazing. I'm like, if that's what you need, yes, it could replace a man.
You can be
However,
that cat lady.
Exactly. Vibrating toys and cat ladies, I would have thought. No. Do not let someone go home with something they will never use. Okay, that makes you into a one-night stand. All right. So if you know that, hi Joe. If you know that Joe, okay, is super sensitive, right, and you give her something like, all right, that may mess with her pH when she really means pure. She's gonna end up with, a UTI, or she's gonna end up, being super sensitive, and it's gonna blow off her clitoris, and she's gonna complain and cry and be like, I'm never going to order from that person again, right? Or if you're somebody else like Laura, I love you, who would typically never say something, right? You're never gonna order again, but you're gonna be like, she didn't check on me, so I didn't have the opportunity to tell her it didn't work either, right? So that's a problem. I pick on people, sorry, Laura.
You get used to it.
It's okay. I went in there knowing, I was like, that's not gonna work for me. That's too hard. I need something softer. So she had it ready to go.
Yep. So,
Can I ask a question?
absolutely.
Being new, I'm not gonna know all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
obviously it'll come in time.
Absolutely. So if you're in an ordering room and you have a phone, you can say, you know what, I'm not completely sure, but let me find out. They will totally respect you so much more for saying, let me find out. You post in the group, you quickly text somebody will answer you. Because we're night owls. And for the most part, there's
I think
someone's on the page typically.
I think your group is the only one that doesn't have to be approved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Post to my group.
You can post it in the group and actually say, hey, I'm at a party or in ordering room, so people know that it's important to like answer right away and say whatever it is whatever question that they have. And people honestly really do feel better when you tell them, I don't know everything, but I'm not going to give you the wrong answer just to give you any answer. They rather hear that you're going to get them the correct answer.
Because that's
You're
what I said.
talking about people think they know what they want. If they actually go home with something that doesn't quite work for them, you were talking about checking up on them. Hey, how
did you like this? And there's ways to troubleshoot what may not be working because somebody might not be using the product correctly. So if she went, say that she has no issues at all. I'm going to use you because I love you. And she takes O home, right? And she's like, Jen, I left my vagina numb. Like, is it supposed to do that? How much did you use? A dime size amount all over my vagina? All right, Joe. We put a pea-sized amount on her clitoris, right? You are now. She knows.
I'm just picturing that client like, yeah, well, that's what you said to do. It's like, no.
Okay, so checking back in is really important because if it's something that's not working, it might be that they're not using the product correctly, right? Or if they use like Virgin, they're like, so my significant other can't talk right now. It's alum, it's a tightening product.
I had a girl putting like a Virgin on her clitoris thinking it was O.
Oh no.
And she's like, it doesn't do anything. And I'm like, it's not supposed to tighten your clitoris. So you have to put it, she's like, but I don't understand where to put it. And I'm like, okay, you have to put it in your vagina. But where? But what part? And I'm like,
so many women don't
Yeah.
know where, like, what is their vagina
You can't
and what
assume
is
that
the
people
vulva.
always know
I'm not gonna lie.
like where their clitoris is.
I sold like a Virgin for the first 3 months, and that's how I told them, oh, you put it on your clitoris, because I was told that's how it happened, and by many of the upline actually.
Penny?
No.
Thank you. Okay. I'm like, can I shoot myself? If it was me.
Under Mia.
Okay.
Under her too, and then you.
Okay.
And then mine.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be the first one to
Mess up? No.
No, absolutely.
No,
not.
everyone messes up. It's okay.
Mia herself
I've even
said
had
at her first party that
coochie's
coochie
edible.
Coochie's not edible.
I've used the fact that I'm new and that I may not know the answer. Let me find out. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean,
See,
they're going to be more accepting to you. So.
see the whole party thing doesn't like I like to talk to people, so I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
It's the going in the ordering room and they start talking and asking questions and I'm going.
We're gonna
No
do a
more.
mock ordering room. That's my plan. Is we're gonna do a mock ordering room so that people can see objections, how to turn it around, and I think someone's gonna be my bitchy client. Yeah, so you can see what that's like too, right?
So
Because
saw her look at me, right? I know you all saw her look at me.
Oh, you had that. You
When I
had that
shadowed
bitchy
her, there was a
client, though.
Oh yeah,
there was one, right?
Oh yeah.
How did I handle it? Why was she bitchy?
She said that on the invitation that if the people invited an extra person,